Didn't know you were there today, so I'm so glad to see you.
I pop in a nice little Friday treat for you.
Yeah, don't you work with Boston Lager today or something like that? Is it Boston Lager? Is that how
So
you
it's
call it?
Boston Beer Company, and then there's the Boston Lager is under like the Sam Adams brand. So that's one of our brands. Yeah.
Yes. Did you start to do podcasting for them?
We actually were working on it. It's like I think something that's gonna happen. They're like it's still getting set up. Like I'm not like super involved, but I think they just want to like bring me in as a host.
Let's go. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
I have to send you a shirt. Like I see you don't have a Pure Instinct shirt right now, so I gotta send you something.
That's a nice little piece.
Yeah, that's my new thing right now. That's the new thing that we did for we call that a pure athlete. So like outside of it, just like the win and losses stuff. Like so, there's like there's a back to it too. Wait.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if he's. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. That's the more I can do right now. So just check on the website. There's actually
I saw there's a couple good little merch drops.
Yeah, I'm trying. Working hard, man. I'm working hard.
Like, I know you are. I'm like I don't know if this guy ever sleeps.
I do. Actually, like I know like it seems like I don't, but I just have found a way to do stuff that like I only do stuff that I love in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like really intense. But I still have a lot of time for my kids and stuff like that. It's just that like while I'm doing some stuff, I'm really focused.
You're like locked in.
And I kind of know the good thing about like, I'm really good with content. When I know like what I want to do, I go wow, like I have this idea. So it's pretty easy after that for me like to just patch it up like over like pure instinct. So
right.
It's now that I know, like, let's say the over here the podcast that we do, like, I'm like, oh, like this is it. Like I believe in it. I think that this can be something great. Mm-hmm. So now that I did like a couple of episodes, I was like, all right, this is it. So like, I think that's great content. Like I don't care about the views and stuff like that at all. Like I'm just doing it. So and now we have this. Have you seen the NFT thing that I sent you guys?
I saw that. That's exciting. That's funny.
Yeah, we'll see that I don't take myself too seriously too, like because I like to experiment with stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm like I do think that NFT are gonna be like the next revolution of the internet. I think that a guy like you that have a great podcast that but don't get money out of it and stuff like that. Now people can actually let me buy a part of his podcast and maybe at some point he's gonna get sponsored and for that period of time you're gonna get like some credit, like some money, like going forward. So a little like small money instead of just like all the money going to Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. Now you're gonna be able. The small people are gonna be able to actually gain a bit with the NFT. So that's why I'm really really into it right now. And I do have like someone like it looks like I'm doing a lot, but like I have a guy actually that I know from like 6-8 months now with networking. He's trying to get from Europe to the States. In North America with his blockchain technology and NFT, so I don't have to do crap. Like that's what he wants.
He knows
to do.
it for you, yeah.
Yeah. He's like the expert. Like he like engineer. Like I just say, you know what? I say to him, your website is not great for Americans because European website or stuff like that, they're just not great. They're just like they're not flashy enough and stuff like that. So I was like, let me build you something that's going to be like looking really great on my end. And then the only thing they have to do is like click on the link and just buy it on your website, on the blockchain and everything. So, and now we just like, I think we're going to be ready in like 3 weeks. I have my content. I have like new content, like a TikTok. There's a TikTok movie that we actually launching. It's great. It's just
that's
great.
Awesome.
It's just like I was just like looking at TikTok at some point, I saw like there was a French movie made by a guy about like it's called La Cité and stuff like that. So it's just like people like walking around in their neighborhood and stuff like that. And it's really well done. And I was like, I can do that. Like I have like tons of content. So I actually like just like took yesterday my content from like the first time we actually played Pure Instinct and like gym. Like the content, like the video is grainy and stuff like that. But I took it and I just like put like some narration on it, a real tight beat. I got some artist that works with me, and now we have like the movie about the inception of the sport, and we already have like 3 episodes of it, and
that's awesome.
At some point, I want to try to get its sponsor, but like you could buy like 10% of the show right now.
That's
if
cool.
It goes well, you don't know. So yeah,
you got to look up. Have you seen? They did. Have you heard of like the movie? You know the movie like Ratatouille. Have you ever heard of that movie, like the Disney movie?
The what?
Have you heard of the movie Ratatouille?
Nah. Ratatouille. Yeah. Sorry. I'm French.
And so they did a whole basically like TikTok, like crowdsourced an entire production of Ratatouille.
Okay.
So you got look up like Ratatouille TikTok or whatever. Yeah. They like had people from all over the world that were like, I'll be the producer, I'll do the lights, I'll do this, like, and they crowdsourced the entire this entire production of like a musical of Ratatouille. It's insane.
Oh, for real? Yeah, I'm all for it. Like I like TikTok actually. Like people like it's for youngsters. It's not for youngsters, man. It's for artists. Like there's a lot of cool artists. If you use the app, like I'm not good at it right now. Like I always say to people, I'm not good. Like I'm just I just love to know what's up. Like I'm not good at NFTs and stuff like that. Like I'm not an expert in that. I just like to like see how I think this is the future. So it's like for me, it's like I think this internet thing is the future. We should like try to get it at my house so I can understand better. I think this like Facebook thing, like back in the days, I think that's like the future. I think Twitter is like the future. So let me understand it a little bit more. And then like the best way to understand it actually is to create something. So that's why I'm creating that TikTok video and I'm creating that NFT stuff. And you're actually going to receive as a host of the show, you're going to receive NFT now.
I love
tokens. So that's like the new stuff. Hey, Pete, how you doing?
All right. Sorry. So sorry.
That's all right. Like I was just like coming up on my Riverside right now, and just the face of Ryan just pop up, and it's been like 3 weeks we didn't talk like on the podcast. He's my host, actually, my main host, and he couldn't make it. So like I was like, wow, I didn't know he was coming in, and I was like, wow, this is it. So we actually started podcast right now. So just like to let you know, we're live, and we actually you seem to have a really pretty good like Wi-Fi, but at the end of the show, if at some point like we stop the show, we actually record on your computer and on my computer at the same time right now. So don't like close out all your browser.
Okay.
Wait for it like 30 seconds and we'll be good. All right. So welcome to the show, Pete. Ryan over here and me, we talking. Okay, we love to talk about sports and stuff like that. So it's a really casual show. We just like to know you better and stuff like that. We were talking about the I'm launching a new thing like right now, like as we speak. In about 3 weeks, it's gonna be live. But we actually, do you know the NFT stuff?
I haven't dove too deep into it, but yeah, I'm really well aware of it. I see all the headlines it's making, and it's it's hard to ignore, really.
But it's kind of a big thing with like the NBA Top Shot and all those stuff. But I kind of leave that on the side because I believe that's like just like something that's a phase for me. Yeah. But the big thing is actually that we're going to be able, the small people in the world are going to be able to actually interact with like direct customer and really have like don't have to have like the a middleman and stuff like that. So it's going to be like direct and more than ever. Like internet was already like something that's crazy when you think about it. Now we go to like a next level because you actually can monetize on it. And just you being on the show today, I have the honor to tell you that we're gonna give you because you're there. We're gonna give you a token at some point in the next month. You're gonna receive a token from the show. Okay, you're gonna keep that token in your new wallet. Okay, you're not gonna touch it. It's worth $0 for now. But if in 1 year we're able to have like a maximum thing with this podcast, it's only for the podcast and not for Pure Instinct. You're not getting shares of Pure Instinct at all.
Yeah, sure. But understood.
If the podcast goes well, okay, and Sam Adams, because he works at Sam Adams. So if Adidas or anyone wants to grab us, okay, and just have a sponsor or just buy the show or anything,
right? Your
token's gonna be worth like something now. So so you're gonna make money out of the revenue. So and you don't have to do a thing except just being on the show today.
All right.
Because you're a friend of the show. So I just inked the deal like today actually with my partner in Europe. So I'm pretty glad about
Congratulations to you, man. That's great.
Yeah, I'm just we having fun. I'm trying not to take that thing like too seriously right now. Like I'm just thinking like in the long term, it's going to be good to be first, like the first mover in that space. And also to showcase that the small people can actually be like think big. Like right now, like the internet, like internet really flipped the switch on people that actually you can actually be as big as you want. Like you can actually like I have a friend who just like launched a website about it's like a thing that you put on your fingers, okay? And their premise of like why they did the company is that like they had before we didn't have like great shoes, okay, and then we have great shoes, and it's just better to do sports with great shoes.
Yeah.
And why can't you have like something that's gonna help you with the dust and everything like on your fingers and a little bit of your grip and stuff like that, so the grip's gonna stay the same for all game long, all right? And I actually test the product over here in Quebec. They asked me like to come and test it.
Yeah.
And it's great. And
wow.
it's surprisingly it's great. Okay.
Is it a spray? What is it? How does it? What is it?
I gotta show it to you. Hey, this is gonna be the first time ever. All right, first time ever. I'm gonna show a screen share like on this podcast right now. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but we have to do it. Do you see my screen right now?
Yeah, we have technology.
So, I'm not sure like where. Wait, not this. All right. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, I see it.
We call this good radio, Dom. This is good radio.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Wait. All right. So you see that like something that's happening right now on my screen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. So this is Stellar. Okay, it's a company. It's from Quebec City. It's a bit lagging right now, but you'll see. Bang. All right. Some of my friends doing this right now. Okay, so it's like you'll see like on the like the fingers. You see on the fingers. There's something on the fingers of the players. So it's like for the grip. Okay, so you can use it for like every sport actually, and it's great. Okay, seriously, like it's surprisingly really great. Like when you use it. So for Stellar, I won't put the link in the description below because I don't do that normally. but like it's a cool company. But what I meant is that they just started and the website is amazing. It just looks like it's done by like professional, like, and actually it's just the guy like from around the corner that's just they're just good at designing and stuff like that, and they have a partner that's good at website. So the product is cool. What I mean is that you can do whatever. So now like the NFT, I think it's gonna be the same thing where people just like random people can just like be like monsters, and that's why I do it right now. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see. So Pete, like we always start, not always, but we always start like the best way maybe to start is, since Ryan doesn't know at all who you are, like just to have a brief give me like a 2-minute like what was your sports background a bit, and then after that we plunge on some stuff. Ryan, you'll know like Pete is actually trying to do something amazing, a bit like me right now. It's called action tennis. It's great. Like we'll talk about it today because normally we don't talk about people business, but this one is different. All right. But Pete, tell me more about the just how you grew up like in sports, where and what sports you did and stuff like that, just so we have a quick background.
Okay, sure. Well, I grew up in Ohio. I'm very proud to say in the U.S. Played sports, lots of sports, all kinds of sports, every sport as a kid growing up. By the time I got to high school, though, I kind of focused on American football. Really focused on that. Kind of committed to this idea of, or at least setting a goal of playing college football, and I did that for Boston College. And I was no superstar by any means. But I played on some very good teams with some very good players, And then that was sort of the end of my playing career, although I did kind of switch over to, after moving to New York City after my college days, switched over to playing just basketball. In New York City basketball's, you can get some good pickup games. So just recreationally speaking, and playing good basketball against a lot of people who played college ball. Sometimes those were basketball players, sometimes those were college football players. Just lots of good matchups and things like that. So I've always kind of maintained this connection to being an athlete. And sort of as the years went by, I thought, well, I still love doing this stuff. And just thought of different ways where I could, I was finding myself at 30 years old. I was still really capable of doing a lot of stuff, and just wanted to extend that, and decided to focus on a childhood dream of mine, which was to become a professional stuntman in the movie and TV business. And so that's what I did. I kind of maintained all that athletic ability and transferred it into a professional setting. That doesn't necessarily mean that I was a professional athlete, but I can tell you that the people that are out there doing that job certainly qualify.
Have you ever been close to dying?
No, we're pretty darn safe about the things that we do. There may or may not have been an instance or two that felt a little hairy, but for the most part, safety is a huge factor, and that's it's not just that's the real difference between being a daredevil or being a professional stunt person. It's the goal is not to just see if you can get away with it once and then deal with the repercussions if you don't. The idea is to be able to do it and do it again and do it again, and then change the camera setup and do it again and do it again.
Yeah, true.
Be able to repeat it, so you're not looking to nobody's looking to get injured or anything. There's risks, of course, but the idea is to do it safely so that you can do it again and come home, or go home at the end of the day and come back the next day and do something else.
At what point as a kid does that become a dream? Like, how young were you when you were first I want to be a stuntman when I grow up?
So, like I said, I grew up in Ohio, and the influence came from a television show called The Fall Guy, which I'm sure I'm not the only stunt person out there who was influenced and motivated or inspired to become a stuntman from that show. But, I got to say, I can't think of the dates exactly off the top of my head, but I got to say I was probably 8 years old. And I can just tell you that, growing up in Ohio, the idea of being a professional stuntman was pretty far out there versus, the idea of maybe playing professional football or something like that. So, that was a childhood dream that I kind of shelved for a very long time.
What's the biggest blockbuster movie you've been around? Is there something out there, or is it only I don't know, you call it sub tier or something like that? Do you have a movie that was blockbuster and you're whoa, I'm in there?
Yeah, the work I did on the original, the first John Wick, I'd say qualifies. I've done a lot more TV work, but in terms of features and movies, John Wick, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie from 2000.
No way.
Yeah.
What did you do in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
I did a bunch of stuff. I mean, I worked on that show with the fight team that designed all of the action around that. Shout out to the 8711 guys. They're an incredibly talented group of fighters that really have dedicated themselves to the industry. And I would say that's I was making that example of just how athletic some of these people are that are in the business that I've been doing. These guys are probably the best in the world at what they do, and they're working on it every day to get better. You got these guys that Jeremy Marinas and Danny Graham and Anis Cherfa that are, they were martial arts people. They grew up that way, and then I didn't know people could do the stuff that these guys were doing without wires and trampolines and things like that. There were martial arts trickers that won like Red Bull competitions back in 2012 and things like that. And just the body control and strength and power and explosiveness, it's just amazing. And
I got so many questions about the PÜREST Sports Moment stuff. I want to keep it a little bit more like longer for the intro, because I know like we talked before, so I know some stuff that you didn't tell us right now. So you also add like another like thing that's pretty special, because just being a stuntman, that's something that 99.5% of people don't do. But then you actually kind of, just like me, invented like a new sports discipline. I don't know how you call it now. Like I know we talked like last month about like more of an entertainment stuff.
Yes.
But can you tell us more about like your? It's not a secret no more. Is it a secret?
No, no. I mean, it's out there. It's on. It's you can find it online on the web.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that.
Is it okay to talk about it a bit or not?
Of course.
Right.
Let's talk.
Can you talk about action tennis, please, a bit, so we can know a bit better, because I saw your video and same thing as Stellar, when I like it just feel when I saw your video the first time, I was like, wow, they're legit. It's something else. So can you explain to Ryan what is like action tennis?
Sure. It is, like Dom said, an entertainment-based version of tennis that sort of combines some different elements to just make what I would describe as a more an intensified, modernized version of the traditional sport of tennis, by adding in dynamic obstacles, changing the environment that these players are playing in, and forcing them to move around on the court like athletes. No more just standing on the baseline and hammering, forehands and backhands and relying on a 150 mile an hour serve. This sort of takes it sort of mitigates the power game and really forces the players to be athletic, agile, quick.
Is there like a custom stadium? Like what is the environment? Okay.
The court itself is a specific build. It's what I've done is I've put sort of ramped walls behind it, which are playable. Mm-hmm. So you think almost, it's the dimensions are still regulation tennis court size. So these players have to cover some ground in the midst of all this, but the back walls are ramped back walls like you might see in American Ninja Warrior or a skate park or something like that. And then the side walls are also enclosed, which are caged. Again, playable, not that you're expecting a lot of rebound or anything like that, but there's definitely ways to keep the ball alive. So
I like that. Hey, what you don't see like there's also like some like gigantic like on the video that I remember, like you have like gigantic ball that people can. There's some people on the side can just push like big balls to the tennis player, so he has to go sideways a bit and stuff like that. So you have to like take care of everything environment. And Pete, just as a sport inventor myself, did you consider that and I was just that's the first time we talk like often actually, and the first time I think about it, have you ever considered having those lower impact ball, or I don't know how you called it, the tennis ball that goes a little bit slower?
Yeah, that's a definite thing that I want to implement more as as the development progresses. Again, and that's to mitigate the power. I think what makes this interesting is not necessarily that the shots are fast or things like that. I think what makes it interesting is that the play is continuing while all of this stuff is moving on, and forcing the athletes to move around and react. In addition, like you're constantly should be thinking offensively and defensively, not offense first, defense next, back to offense. You really have to be just like a heightened state of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Where it just you're constantly like I consider, I think about it in terms of almost like the military teaches this situational awareness concept. And I think that really applies to the way the athletes need to consider how to play this game.
I like it.
Yeah.
So let's dive in a bit, like in your purest sports moment. Okay, I want to ask about actually your stunt career. Okay, because that's something that's really interesting for me. Because I do consider it to be close to a sport, like a sports setup. Because you have to use your body so much, and you have to be agile and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't do it. Like I wouldn't do like you show me stuff that you do. I'm like, nah, that's not for me. Like I'm not like jumping this. I'm not like going to stairs and stuff like that. But what is your fondest like memory of stunt? Okay, you went out there and you remember there's one memory you say that fondest moment, purest moment that you say, this was so nice. This is stunt for me. This is it. This is the moment. In my head, and this represent like why I love going out there. Like it doesn't have to be something that you actually exceed in. Just one time, you say, hey, this is so nice. I want to do this like for the next 10 years of my life.
Right. Well, I would say that for me, it didn't come that early. I would say it was probably right around the 8, 9, 10 year mark in my career, and it wasn't even necessarily my performance, but I worked a fight scene that's pretty well recognized as one of those early on one take, no cut type of fights that people try to do them now still all the time. Just a single camera moving around in this environment, and in this case it was a hallway for the Marvel Netflix Daredevil show. And just like I said, it wasn't my athletic ability. I mean, I was in the scene and I was in the fight and I was up and down and crashing into doors and crashing into walls and getting knocked all around. But the guy who was the Daredevil stunt double, his name's Chris Brewster, and just what this guy was capable of doing, and that fight scene it's got to be damn near 5 minutes long, and the guy had 100-something beats, just movements and things like that for him to do while he's beating up 8 other guys, and I was one of the 8. But just explosiveness in his movements, he's bouncing off of walls, he's throwing punches, he's throwing kicks, he's throwing guns and shotguns, he's just moving all around in this space. You're talking about explosiveness, you're talking about endurance, you're talking about just being cognitively aware of where all of these other people are in relationship to where he's supposed to be, and then all the movements, and then doing it all safely so that he's not actually hitting somebody with a shotgun. That he's supposed to look like he's hitting somebody with a shotgun, but a matter of inches, if you're off a little bit, you go to really hit somebody with a shotgun. And then obviously we're using prop weapons and things like that, but just the amount of information that he had to process in conjunction with the physical performance part of it, it's just phenomenal to watch. In terms of sports, athletics, and just singular moments. I mean, granted, we spent an entire day shooting that, and we spent 2 days rehearsing it. So,
you say one day, you did that scene how many times?
15 times. Yeah.
Wow, and it was because the producer, I don't know what you call it, the guy wanted to have just it in one scene of camera. That's why.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and what is What does the choreography look like to like? What is the preparation that goes into something like
we
that?
had at least 2 days of rehearsal with
Mm-hmm.
the stunt coordinator. Worked with a couple other guys to build that choreography. And Phil Silvera, who's a fantastic stunt guy in his own right, and has moved on to coordinating and fight choreography and second unit directing and things like that. He literally had a handheld camera, and he was mimicking the movements that the camera that we shot with was going to like where we were going to catch all of the best moments for every punch to sell, every, like I said, the shotgun flying through the air, that has to be shot from a certain direction so that it looks like it's hitting. He did all that with a handheld camera. Like we're in a hallway. You're only talking about 4 or 5 feet wide. So, as bodies are dropping down, he's stepping over them. He's spinning around, turning to get the next shot. And, so that's how we rehearsed it on the day when we shot it. That camera needs to hit all of those marks as well. So yeah, 15 takes. I mean, something like that.
What's the because you were not an extra in that, but not like the lead of that stunt. Like, is there a stunt that stands out for you in your careers? Like, holy shit, that one was a million takes, or that one took me forever to land, or that whatever it was. Like, is there one that stands out?
No, I mean one that stands out not because it was grueling or anything, but I did a movie with Dave Bautista from WWE, and now he's Guardians of the Galaxy, things like he's become a movie star, and he was fantastic to work with. But there was I was a stunt coordinator on this movie called Bushwick, and there was a scene where we needed a stunt double to double an actor who just happened to be 6'3" and right around 200 pounds, which is exactly the size I was. This guy was going to basically get body slammed by Batista after a little bit of a scuffle and a gun disarm and things like that. And I put myself in the position to do it. And luckily, man, that's just a whole other level of strength. Like I said, I'm 200 pounds. He threw me around this kitchen of a Brooklyn brownstone like I was 100 pounds. I had no control over where I was going or anything like that. I literally was in his hands to do whatever he wanted to do. And he just, pushed me up against the cabinets. He dragged me across the countertop. He slammed me against the refrigerator. Then he dropped down, picked me up over his shoulders, and slammed me down right onto the wooden floor of this apartment. And, everybody was there like, Jesus, the whole room, the whole building shook. He's a big, powerful dude.
I did see your IMDb says you were the lightest blocking tight end in the history of college football or something.
Yeah, this is a little just having some fun, but it might be true. It might be true.
I have 2 questions for you about I didn't think we were going to talk about stunting that much, but it's so fascinating for me. Have you ever do the stunt with because like in the car stuff, like flipping cars and stuff like that? That's one. And have you ever get hurt like doing like someone just like you said, like Batista, like shoving you around and stuff like that? Do you get hurt because at some point I don't know, don't you break your you got bones, right?
Oh yeah. Luckily, the one with Batista, we got it right the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody agreed. Like, that was good enough. Let's move on. And I was sure happy about that one, because that could have gone wrong. But yeah.
But do you hurt yourself?
Sorry?
Do you hurt yourself sometimes?
Not that particular time, no. But
normally,
years later, in fact, it's still like an injury I live with every day. I was doing a rooftop to rooftop jump, and similar to what Tom Cruise did, I did mine first, like a year before he did. I just stuck my foot right into a wall, jumping off of a roof, and snapped my ankle. Now now I don't run around so well.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it
have
happened.
Have you ever done the car thing, like where you like spun around like in cars, or
No, I mean, like that's I really, and again, this goes back to just being an athlete. I think in a sports background and all that. I really liked the body, the physical body stuff. So I got into fighting and again like the running and jumping and all that fun stuff. Cars were really, man, it's a really specialized thing, and particularly
Okay, yeah.
when you're talking about that type of stuff. I mean, those are people that have generally dedicated themselves to learning all about the mechanics and the automotive side of things. And that's the great thing about this business is it's not just, oh hey, he's available, let's strap him into the car and roll him over. It's guys are working on that stuff, constantly developing new techniques and learning the techniques that already exist. And yeah.
What was your like training? I guess two-part question would be like, one, when you first got into the industry, like were they, how did you know what to do? Are there certain like techniques to protect yourself? Like how are you learning that stuff? And then as you got better, like what were your like training mechanisms? Like how are you preparing to stay in shape or to, jump high? Like how are you kind of like working out?
So yeah, I mean, I kind of went into it just with an athletic perspective, really, and that's how I treated my career all the way through, even currently. I trained constantly. There was a point though where I was working out sometimes twice a day. Even if it was a work day, I'd go stop somewhere before I report to set. I'd do something afterwards just to stay out of traffic. But yeah, I mean, even as like a 40-year-old, I was going to the beach doing change of direction drills in the sand and doing plyometrics out of the sand and doing all kinds of things. Plus martial arts training, regular weightlifting training. I mean, just constantly, and that was fun. I loved that part of it. Like I said, I think I explained it. I moved into this almost to just be an extension of being an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you wearing a belt? You say martial art, like I'm passionate about like martial art a bit. Like my kids doing some stuff. Do you like? Are you like like a martial art like a black belt at something?
Not a black belt. I trained in Krav Maga, which to me encompassed everything that I thought I would need, because we do a lot of like defensive things. So we learn weapon disarms and all the different techniques that the traditional martial arts have mastered over centuries. A new system like Krav Maga has taken all those effective pieces, put them all together into their own system and their curriculum, and then that's what they teach. And it's a very progressive system in terms of constantly adding new things in, taking what works. There, one of the guys who is the master of Krav Maga worldwide is a DA in Los Angeles, I believe, still. Darren Levine, and he sees what's going on in the world in terms of criminal activity and things like that. He sees it firsthand, so he's found ways to sort of adapt and adopt and change and add in and take out whatever it is that's going on, like literally in the real world on the streets, things like that.
So let's segue a bit to your sports career. Like you say football, so let's talk about football a bit. I know you're from Ohio, so it's always strange that you didn't go to a school in Ohio, like the Ohio State University or something like that.
Right.
But what is your purest sports moment in football? That moment that you say that you fell in love with the sport, and that really like a nice sentiment about football. Like, it could be like high school, it could be at Boston College also. Is there like a moment you say that's my fondest memory of football?
I think I just always I would almost go back to when my older brother started playing, And I think at the youth level, we weren't allowed to play until you were 8. And so he was 8 years old. I was 6 years old. And he showed up for his first practice or for sign-ups or for the equipment day to get fitted for all your gear and things like that. And I remember just crying my eyes out that I couldn't play. Like I really wanted, as a 6-year-old, that was something that I think I really wanted to do. Yeah, like I said, I just played soccer and basketball and all the sports, but that's a moment where it just maybe makes sense looking back at it to say, even then, that early at 6 years old, that was something that I knew that I wanted to do. Yeah.
Amazing, Pete. I do have to ask because I mean I am a Boston College guy also.
You are?
Oh, I am. Yeah.
Fine, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I played I played soccer at Boston College.
Right
and I'm a huge football and basketball fan. So you were on the '93. I did my research. I thoroughly stalked Pete. But you were on the '93 team that beat Notre Dame and tarnished their national championship hopes. So I want to hear just at least tell me a little bit about that moment because that was like a huge upset.
So I mean, there's so many like special things about that, you know. And I think you could almost go back to the year prior. The year before, where they just crushed us. I mean, I can remember the score still was like 54-7. I mean, and it was the first time Boston College had played Notre Dame in a long time, I think. It's just, you know, and we had a pretty good year leading up to that. And that was just, I mean, I won't say it was demoralizing, but it really, I mean, it hurt. And, you know, we carried that over, I think, all of us. I mean, everybody that was still on that team carried that over into the next year. And I mean, I can tell you very truthfully that practicing that entire week, I could have told you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that we were going to win that game.
Oh,
it was just a feeling, I mean, in the air, across the team, whatever it was. I felt like we were going to win that game.
That was home or that was away?
Both. So the 54-7 thrashing that we got was in Notre Dame, and we came back to Notre Dame the following year, and I think they shot Rudy, you know, scenes from Rudy during our halftime. Actually,
what?
So that's kind of like a funny movie tie-in.
Are you serious?
Yeah. My parents and brother are in the film somehow or another.
Stand somewhere. That's funny.
I always wonder, like those movies, like when they film it, like when they do it, and like how like they get so many people like in the stands like cheering up. So do you like your parents? Did they tell you like oh they were like doing like a fake people like going at it and we were like they were cheering?
Yeah, they must have done it. I mean, Dom, I don't know. I was in the locker room, so I don't know what I didn't know anything about that movie happening until, you know, years later when it was released, and they were like, "Oh yeah." And my parents told me that we were in the crowd.
That's dope. That's like that's I didn't. That's incredible.
Right?
Do you have like a moment like we call that the NFT moment, the NBA Top Shot moment, but like for football, let's say for football, a moment that you wish you had like 10 cameras like around you for that moment, and that you have like all angle, a drone, everything like for that like single sport moment that you could have in your pocket with you. You don't want to sell it, you just want to hone it. I know you got kids. You would like show them at Christmas and say, "See, kids, I know I can't run right now because my ankles, but that was daddy." I had a picture like taken off. I actually put it on my Instagram, on my personal Instagram, and also on Twitter. I think last week. There was like a basketball camp. I was like a counselor, or like someone who like the for the kids. And they wanted me to do a dunk, like a kind of dunk contest. And I put like one kid, well, not a kid, it's not a kid. You wouldn't like, he's not a kid. I put one of the guy like under me, was just like on his knees. and actually like jumped over him and did like a big windmill.
Ooh.
And we had like someone, I didn't know, but someone took a picture of it, and the picture is just perfect. Like I'm just like at this like exact moment, and it's just like the perfect. And I just showed that to my kids. And like, that's not you. It's like, yeah, it's me. I'm like 15 years younger, like 4 kids less. So but that was me. But that was like a moment. Like, so do you have that kind of moment that you say, I wish I had like 10 cameras around, like a drone, the full kit, like just on me for that moment, because that was like my best sports moment ever.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think this goes back to me being a blocking tight end, Ryan. I used to run routes.
Yeah.
And I would go out there and hope to get a ball thrown my way. It didn't happen so often in the games, but in practice, man, I made this left jump. I must have jumped as high as I've ever jumped. One-handed catch, right on the sidelines. I knew where I was. Toe tapped and land everything in. I mean, that might be it. But then there was so I played volleyball also. And this was in a volleyball game. We had I was like an outside hitter, and we had some play where I was coming around, and I was supposed to be like just a decoy for the ball to get passed over to the other side. And man, the setter set it kind of low wasn't low by any means, because I don't think I've ever jumped as high as I jumped for this. And I went and I took a real approach at it to just be a good decoy, and the ball was right there, man. So he set it high enough to what was supposed to go to the far left side. And I was coming down the center, and he set it high enough to get over there, but man, I was there, and so I smashed it. Spiked it straight down. Like I said, I don't think I've ever jumped that high before.
An out of body experience.
It felt like something like that, man. I'm telling you. But I do know that one of my football coaches was up in the window, and he saw it. So somebody saw it.
That was in Boston. Did you play like volleyball in Boston College?
Yeah. So my last 2 years. So when I realized I was not going to be able to play in the NFL, just at 210 pounds and running a 4.7 at best, a 4.7 40, I kind of did a mental pivot and decided maybe I should try playing beach volleyball professionally. I moved on to other things and didn't do that, but I knew I needed to learn how to play the game. So Boston College had like a competitive club volleyball team, and would travel around and stuff like that. So I worked out with them for 1 year, and then the following year actually played on the team when I was done with my football eligibility.
Nice. Yeah. So that's pretty sweet actually. Like I like the you get like 2 NFT moment actually. But tell me, like, that's a question I have for you, and actually that's we like Ryan, like he doesn't know that much because we didn't air right now. We're gonna air on Sunday, the first time we actually air a new TV show. It's called Change the Rules. And one thing that I don't like about football, I actually played tight end for a year.
I can believe that. School. Yeah. That's a good fit, man. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Dom doesn't like contact. He doesn't like hitting people. He doesn't like getting hit. He's
I got 1 touchdown in the same game. I got a big fumble in the same game because I got hit. The touchdown I didn't get hit, so it was okay. And on the fumble I got hit, and I was like I dropped the ball. So, but that's not the point. The point is more like I was not feeling good about football because I was coming from hockey, soccer, and basketball, where actually I am like responsible of the ball like really often. So in soccer, like Ryan plays soccer, you don't touch the ball that often in soccer, but you do touch the ball sometimes, and you do score sometimes and stuff like that. But in football, I was like, this is a weird sport. Like for me, like coming out, like you want me to block, and then you want me to block when we go left just to fake that for the next time we go right, I'm going to be blocking. So that was not for me at all. So I wonder, like a guy like you, like growing up like in high school and then college, how can you survive in that sport? Like what is it that you like in football? Because I don't like like I get Gronkowski, like he gets like touchdown and stuff like that,
Right.
but I don't get the blocking tight end. Like I just don't get it. Like what was it for you?
I mean, I guess, and I've played a lot of different positions. I didn't just play tight end.
Okay.
So I was a lineman actually all through my youth football and things like that. I don't know. I've never thought about that. Yeah, I just it was something like I liked about the sport. It must have been the contact and the physicality, because I never even considered like what you're saying. I mean, there were points, and I guess to some extent that's probably why I switched positions and started playing tight end in high school. But also, I mean, I just know that like I recognized that I wasn't going to be 270 pounds, and if I wanted to play college football, I was going to need to switch into a position that I could fit in. Just physically, just in terms of size.
Yeah, I think the ball for me is so, like, in my life, a ball is so important, and now I created a sport where you touch the ball all the time and stuff like that.
Right.
It's so engraved in me that I can't believe when I watch like a football game. I don't mind watching football. I just don't. I would just like throw me the ball every time, or I'm not playing. Like I'll be that kind of receiver. Like
yeah,
I want the ball in my hand like every time, and I want to play defense too. Like Ryan know about that. Like I want to play both ways. I don't care about it. Like you get out of the way. Like I want to play both ways.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a really great question. I never really thought like why does anybody do that? I mean, it must be something about the, like I said, the that contact and that physicality must be a big driver.
I think there's got to be something too. If you're growing up in America, growing up in Ohio, like football country, there's something that's like just in you of like you go and you're watching football on Friday nights. Like I think back to being 5, 6. And you mentioned your brother was playing. Like I remember going to high school football games and being like, oh, like that's just what you do. Like that was like I don't know. You don't. There was not an explanation. It was like that's just what you do.
Yeah, I really think I think you may have hit the nail on the head with it, Ryan. That's
but Ryan, don't you go like at the game and say like, yeah, like, that's pretty sweet, but like I want to be that guy. Like I want to be that QB or that wide receiver. Like that's what I mean. Like for me, like I don't like I never like. I only started to watch the offensive line and the blocking like tight end stuff when I start looking at the NFL. I was like, whoa, those guys are really important. Like if they're not good, your team's not good actually. So, but before that in high school, like when you watch like football, all I ever watched was like the QB and the wide receiver. That's it.
Right.
I mean, you're talking to a guy who scored one career college goal. I did a lot of defending, a lot of unglamorous work, and it's part of the process.
I can relate.
Yeah,
we're gonna finish on this. Like, can you explain to me, Ryan? Like, because that's something with soccer. That's another debate. But like, go back to your goal. Like it's a podcast. Let's do it. Like, what's your goal? What was your goal?
My one career goal?
Yeah, I want to know.
Oh, it was a sunny Tuesday in late September. At the midweek games, you had no fans that would come to any of these games. We were playing at home. We were playing Dartmouth, and there's for some reason my friends, like all my like college friends, happened to come to this game. We were down 1-0. It's probably 75th minute late in the game, and it must have been a corner or a free kick. I actually don't remember. It was the ugliest goal you've ever seen. Like it was like somebody had headed it back across, fell, kind of got bounced around, and I was just like Johnny on the spot, was able to 5 yards out, blast it in. Right. And I celebrated like a madman, like ran over my, the 8 people that are in the stands, go run over to my buddies to tie the game. And then we won on a goal in the 90th minute. So it had like tie the game, and then we ended up winning going on to win the game. But yeah, that was my one career goal.
Yeah, it was a big one.
I love it. It. Hey, for you two guys, for my other show, okay, we're gonna finish on that. Okay, I gotta know because you're both like a big football fan, soccer fan, obviously, and stuff like that. I have a show that's called Change the Rules, okay, where we actually take the rules from basketball, let's say, and say, I don't like that rule, so let me get that rule out, and the game's going to be purer, okay? Like, Ryan, you know, my stand on the three-point line. Like, I don't want the three-point line to be part of the basketball. I think that ruins the game right now. There's just too much, right? Just too much. I don't think it's worth 3 points. I think it's worth 2.5, okay? 2.25 points, but we can't do that, okay? So let's just call it 2. All right, that's my take on it. My take on the football. I think in football we should not have field goal. Like the 3-point field goal, that should not exist. What do you think, Pete?
I don't mind what you're saying.
No?
Yeah. I mean, I'll back that.
What about you, Ryan?
I think it adds something to the game having a mid-level score in there somewhere. I do appreciate the coaches that just like refuse to punt and they'll just go for everything on 4th down. I do appreciate that. So that kind of gets you closer to that place where, you know, you're 30 yards out and it's like, no, we're not going to punt and we're not going to kick a field goal. We're just going to like go for it on 4th down. It adds some drama. So I can see that piece of it making it compelling.
There's a lot of people on my side right now. Like, I don't find a lot of people that actually like disagree with this. Like, I'm pretty surprised. I might have to talk to some higher people in the NFL and try to maybe do it over here in the CFL or something. Yeah. Because for me, it's like, why?
Here's a compromise. I got a compromise for you.
Go.
How about no field goals in overtime? I think that's kind of a cop out. You have to score a touchdown to win the game. I like that. If you can
that's for sure. Yeah. But even in the game, Ryan, like the thing with it is that I understand right now they're not gonna change the rule and stuff like that. They're too old for that. But it's a bit like in soccer where you either score or you don't score. Like, right. Are you able to score or you're not able to score? Basketball, are you able to score? Like, whatever, like you can, like imagine in soccer and you say, okay, stop it. Yeah, everybody stop. I'm gonna take a shot from here now because I'm tired of, like, I can't score, and now I'm gonna take a free kick from here. That's BS. Like, can you score or not score? Like, I understand that at some point the game has to stop, or I guess, or they want to put points on the board, but I'm guessing that, let's say, if you have the mentality of going like 4 down, like every time, it would be amazing. Like I would love to see that. And there's one thing though, like. I have nothing against like the kickers in sports, in the football, like the good athletes. Like I respect, like, it's stressful and all that. There's just a thing for me when I'm watching like a game that's this much physical, and like at the end of the game, like it's like the biggest, nicest game ever of football, and it's just finished with someone who just like kick a ball, like I don't know, like for me it's kind of so weird, like so much of a physical game, intense game, and just finish on a 30 yards. Both QBs are on the bench and just watching, and one is like yes, the other was like so I don't get it. I just don't get it. So, but I'm happy that people are actually on my board on that, because like, people are going to toast me for. I know people are going to toast me for that 3-point line stuff, but now I have a lot of ammo actually for the football stuff.
Yeah, I'll back it, man.
Cool. Hey, thanks.